drinking coffee.
3D Boxing is here with Nick Molina from Laredo, Texas, Gateway City's own. Big news, Nick Molina back in the ring March 25th on the Caleb Plant David Benavides card, the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Got to ask you, Nick, what's it like this early in your career to be fighting at the MGM Grand, like the holy grail of boxing? What's that like?
Oh man, it's a blessing. It's a huge blessing, and I'm super grateful and happy that I'm able to perform on such a big stage in front of so many people. And for my hometown, I'm very happy right now. I'm excited and I'm grateful.
Just a kid from Laredo, Texas, city about 150,000 people, and now you're on the biggest stage in the world, David Benavides, Caleb Plant, MGM Grand. Is this a dream come true? I mean, are you pinching yourself? Can you believe that this early in your career you're fighting on such a big stage?
To be honest with you, I didn't expect to be on the big stage this early in my career, but I mean, it's how could I say no at this point in my life? I mean, I've been through a lot, and like you said, I'm just a kid from Laredo, and I mean, not everyone gets the call, but I mean, I'm very excited, and I'm just ready. I can't wait, and I'm excited.
So walk me through that. You get the call just like last week. You said
Yes.
They want you, Daniel Blancas, March 25th. What's that call? We want you on the PBC card, Benavides Plant. What's going on when they're be on this?
Well, they had called me like out of the blue. I was actually working. I was in Laredo, and they called me, and I just couldn't believe what they were telling me on the phone and what they offered me and on what stage. And I was in shock. And I mean, I kind of still am, but I'm trying not to let it, get to me. But it was an amazing. I mean, it was crazy. Like, I couldn't believe it. But I mean, I'm just excited. But it was crazy.
Trainer and owner of Ferocious Fitness, Louis Villarreal, whose gym you train at in San Antonio, he told me how dedicated and how motivated you are, and you're back in working harder than ever. How big of an opportunity is this for you, and what does this mean for your career?
I mean, it's the biggest opportunity I've ever gotten, in my life at this point, and it means a lot to me, and it means the world to me to be able to show my talent and, show the world and show everyone who I am, and, knowing that what happened in the past, is in the past, and how I can move forward and overcome obstacles, and, just prove everyone that I'm here, that I'm somebody, and you should keep an eye out because I'm somebody.
You are somebody. I've seen, your first 3-4 pro fights, your first four pro fights in Laredo, and you can tell, like, okay, that's not just a local fighter. He's got big time world level talent. You start your career 4-0, 3-0, 3 knockouts, and the pandemic hits. Year and a half, you're back, you get a win, and then you're out of the ring again. But just talk to me about the beginning of your career, your amateur career, and how you got started in the sport, your amateur career, and then when you decided, okay, now's the right time to turn pro.
So I mean, I started amateur when I was about 8 years old. And I didn't really get the opportunity to get a lot of experience, but I mean, I had more than 50 amateur fights. And I mean, compared to people I know, that's not necessarily a lot, but I mean, it is experience. And, I grew up like, I wasn't as good, I had to work to get here, and I took everything in, and, I seen a lot of people come and go. And, when I was a young kid, I just remember going to the fights in Laredo. Juanito Martinez, a promoter at AAA Promotions. And I always I always wanted to be on there. And I remember 15, 16-year-old, and I always tell my dad, like, can I fight? Like, I heard that Canelo went pro at 16. I was like, I could do it too. I want to do that. And he was like, no, like, you're crazy. And then, another year went by, 17. I was like, come on, like, I'm ready in high school. Like, I want to fight. Like, I just been doing amateur. And it was just like, no, not yet. And, finally, for bugging him for almost 3 years, like, they finally let me go pro at 18. And I was still in high school. I was a senior in high school, and it was the best thing ever. Like, I felt like I was on top of the world, like, when I went pro, and like, it was just amazing. And I just knew that this is what I wanted to do. And I mean, it was the only sport I was kind of good at. So, I mean, I put a lot of effort and work into it. And I mean, I just didn't stop from there. But yeah.
Yeah, I remember your second pro fight. You got a first round knockout of Jesus Leja in it was on the Triple A Promotions card in Laredo, Sam's Auto Arena. And I turn and I look at Josh Juarez, who's like sitting in the first row, and I said, "Who is that? He's from Laredo." He's like, "That's Nick Molina. He's good." He's just like, "Yeah, he's real good." Um, so like you could tell right away that you had special talent. And now it's cultivating that talent and getting you to the next level. Like I said, your trainer Louis said you're working harder than ever. Without giving away too much, what do you got to do? You're going in. You've always been the favorite. Everyone's always expected you to win these fights. Now you're going in to fight a PBC guy. You're going in the underdog. How does that change your approach and what's your mindset going in to this fight? Not being the favorite, going in and not fighting in your home state.
It's actually crazy how my whole career I felt like I've been the underdog, from where I am, and I felt like people didn't really see me. And it's no like disrespect to anyone, but I just felt like I was worth more than what I was. And I don't know, like I've always felt that way in my head, in my mind, my mentality. Like I always felt like, you can't let yourself thinking that you're the favorite, or you always got to have that underdog mentality, and always make sure that you take care of business and you stay focused, because once you lose it, then it goes away, and then things tend to happen. And I mean, but I'm more than mentally ready. I mean, I went through a lot, but I mean that it made me stronger. I'm here for a reason, and I got to make sure I prove that I'm actually here for that reason. So I mean, I just got to keep focused and just be ready.
Like the talent is there. 68. The fight's at 168. I know you've been up and down. You turned pro at somewhere between 47 and 54. You've been, what's the best weight for you? And is 68 a weight that you think you're going to stay at, or where do you see yourself weight wise? Moving forward.
Yeah, I guess that's been like kind of like a conflict. But I mean, I guess during the whole COVID thing that happened, I really, my gym closed and a lot happened, and I kind of let myself go a little bit. But I mean, I'm able to make the weight, but I just know that in order to get to where I want to be, like let's say 160, 154, like I really need like a good amount of time to, separate myself and make sure I make that weight. And because I haven't been there in a long time, like the last time I saw you, I think I was at 166, and that was the lowest I'd been since before COVID. Because before COVID, I fought at 158, something like that, 158, 160, and
Yeah.
I hadn't seen that weight in a long time. So I mean, I guess just getting accustomed to it. But I would really like to fight at 160. I think that'd be a perfect weight. And I was younger, I was smaller at that time. I grew a lot more, but I mean, my muscles got bigger. But I mean, I would like to go lower, because I mean, it is a fun division. Don't get me wrong. Like 168 is probably like one of my favorite divisions that I know boxers of, and I just feel like it's exciting. But at the same time, you have to be very smart, and you have to have a lot to go into what you're going into at 168, because it's a very dangerous division. There's a lot of heavy hitters and a lot of smart boxers, like so you have to be ready. But I mean, at the same time, I don't think I'll stay at 168 too long, to be honest with you. But I mean, this opportunity came along, and of course, I mean, I couldn't say no. So I mean, of course, I'm here right now, and I'll be ready at that time.
I'm sure you will be. And in the main event, you got two pretty good 168. I want to get your opinion. Benavides Plant, who you got and why?
Oh,
it's a tough one, right? Like I go back and forth on that one too. That's a tough one.
It is, but I've always been a fan of Caleb Plant. Like I also been a fan of Benavides also, but I mean, I just feel like we kind of relate right now. We're the underdogs, because I don't know if you know, but Daniel Blancas is in the camp of Benavides. So I feel like I'm on Plant side right now. Not even just like with the boxing, but mentality wise, like we're underdogs, and we both have to prove something. Especially off that win he got. It was an amazing performance that he put off. And I mean, especially after the loss to Canelo, I feel like he wants to come back and prove himself more. So, I have planned on that one. I feel like he's a really good boxer, and he's really smart. And don't get me wrong, because Benavides he's fast and powerful too. But, at the same time, I feel like Plant could outbox him a little bit. But I mean, it's gonna be that's a tough one. That's a real tough one. I couldn't even put money on anyone on that one, to be real with you. I can't. I don't even know. That's like a 50-50. Honestly, it's honestly a 50-50.
I've gone back and forth on it too, right? Benavides can maul him and break him down. But Plant can use the ring. Plant work up the back foot. Just don't stand in front of him, and Plant can outbox him. It's a really, really interesting fight style-wise. But I want to get back to you real quick, right? So we go back. You make your pro debut in 2019. You come back a couple months later. You get, like I said, the first round knockout in your second fight, and then you get another knockout right before the pandemic, March of 2020. You're really cooking at that point. You're 3-0, 3 knockouts. You look really good against early stages of competition. I guess you're 18, 19 years old at the time. And then the pandemic hits. And then you're out of the ring. Everything is closed. What does that do to your momentum and what's going on mentally? What's going on? You're making a name for yourself. Like, people are starting to notice you, and then bang, the pandemic hits. What's going on, in your head at that time?
Yeah, it was really like, man, like I felt like nothing could stop me. I felt like I was on the way to the top, and I was putting in the work, and I was getting guys out of there real fast. And I was like, wow, like I can't stop. Like, there's no way. And then, the pandemic hit, and, it's a serious thing. Of course, I can't say that I ignored it. Like, it was a lot of people lost their lives, and, it's a sad thing. And I'm grateful that God allowed me to be here today and be in this position. But I feel like I had to go through all that. Everything happens for a reason, and we may not know why, but I had to go through that, especially with the way that it happened. I gained a lot of weight. I wasn't in the gym. My hunger went away. I was just trying to stay on my feet, and I went through a lot during that time. And it only made me stronger to this point. But I mean, yeah, it was a tough time. But I'm pretty sure it was for everyone, unless you were fighting on the cards during the bubble. But
yeah.
I kind of wanted to, but I mean, I never.
Well, Jaime fought on one.
Yeah.
Jorge Ramos fought on ESPN card, right? So Laredo got some love during the bubble for sure.
They did.
Well, let's go to that. So you're 3-0. Then the pandemic hit. You're out of the ring about 16 months. You come back September of 2021 on a AAA promotions card, Fito Martinez card. You knocked down in the first round, right? And you come back and you stop him in the second.
Yes.
So you're out of the ring a year and a half. First round, you fight a guy way bigger than you. You get knocked down in the first round. What's going on in your head, and how did you regroup and then finish him just a couple minutes later?
Yeah, so that card, that was even crazier because I wasn't even expected to fight. Like, I wasn't even on the roster. I don't even know what I was doing at that time, to be honest with you. I was training, but like I said, I just trained every day just to make sure I put in the work. But it wasn't like a serious camp or anything where I got ready and all that. But I remember I got a call like a week before the fight, and they told me like, hey, like Vito called me like, hey, you want to come be on my card? And I was like, hell yeah. Like, of course, why would I say no? At this point, like, yeah, I'm down. And they told me the weight, and I was like, whoa. I was like, all right, I mean, it's a fight. It's better than nothing. I just have to be smart, and I know it's a bigger division. So yeah, it was at 175. And I remember we talked that day, and you were telling me about the weight and how everything happened. And I was like, man, like how I went from 160 to 175. And it was crazy. I mean, I jumped 2 weight classes, and it was a scary thing. But at the same time, when I went in there, like I don't know, like at 1, it was like trying to shake off the rust, right? So that was one thing. And then 2, like the power was just different. Like I felt it like on his body, like just right off, like as soon as he threw that punch, like it was within the first 10 seconds, I think. And as soon as I felt it, like I kind of just like slipped on my feet and I went down. And man, everything just like, it was crazy. Like I had never honestly been like knocked down like my entire career. So like my life in general. So it felt crazy. And I don't know. I was like, I'm glad I was able to come back and, make sure that I pulled off the win. And, I was able to also knock him out too. So, I mean, it was a crazy night, but I mean, I was glad I was able to pull off the win.
You did. You went to 4-0. Then you're out of the ring for a while again. But in that time, a lot of big things happened. Jaime is in San Antonio training with Louis Villarreal. A couple other fighters are from your area. How did you get hooked up with Louis and Ferocious Fitness and Pound for Pound, and how did that all happen?
I had a friend of mine through my dad and another friend of mine through Laredo. He goes by the name of Edgar Ramos. He's not really around in the scene no more, but yeah, he's a good man and he's a good friend, and he was able to get me in contact with Santiago Martinez. He's my manager and my promoter, and I got in contact with him and I met up with him in Laredo, and we told him about our career and everything like that, and he welcomed me with open arms, and I'm grateful for that and everything he's done for me in the hospitality, and being able to stay at a house, and I'm very grateful for that. And ever since then, like I never really turned back with anyone. I mean, of course, I still have my coach at home. Francisco Alviso. He's been my coach since day one, and I'm not. He's gonna be there with me in Vegas too. So I can't. He's been there with me since the very beginning. So I can't leave him out of there either. But
Yeah.
as in terms of being able to move forward in my career, Santiago Martinez helped me a lot, and I'm grateful for that.
It's been a good fit. I want to go back because the Canizales brothers are kind of on the map for perspective, right? Two world champions from Laredo. Then there wasn't, many, there were a couple of fighters from Laredo, but now all of a sudden, right? We were talking about Jaime, Jorge fought on a top ranked card. Josh Warris fought on a Golden Boy card. Jennifer Lozano wins every national tournament there is. What's going on in Laredo? Everyone right around that same age, all of a sudden, it's just such a hotbed now. Like, so many good young fighters coming out of Laredo. And Jorge Castaneda, of course, too, who scored
Yes.
2 upsets on Matchroom cards. What's going on in Laredo all of a sudden where it's getting all these really, really good young fighters?
I feel like it was just due within time, like I've known all of them since I was young, since I was a kid, like since I was super young. And I used to spar with JJ all the time when I was smaller, and we used to weigh around the same, but now he stayed small, I got bigger. But I
Oh,
knew
Hassel?
yeah, I used to spar with Jaime Hasso when I
He's
was
a 118 pounder, 115
yeah,
pounder.
that's what I'm saying, when I was way smaller. But he
Yeah.
used to whip me, but I don't know about now, but I'm just
I
kidding.
think you can just manhandle him now.
But no, I've known every single one of them for a very long time, and they're very good people. Jennifer, Joshua, George, and I've known everyone, and it was just due within time. Everyone has amazing talent, and I mean, everyone puts in the work, and as you can see, it's starting to show. Like I said, due within time, and I think we are finally being seen, and that's amazing. From coming from a town where, of course, Orlando and Gabby came out of, and it's just a blessing, and I feel like we all feel the same in terms of the opportunities we get. We take advantage of them, and we make sure that we are known and that we're trying to put the city on the map again. So I think that's where we're all at, in my opinion, right? But I mean, I'm pretty sure because we're all ready.
uh, Obviously Laredo is doing great things. What would it mean to you if you were like, and there's other guys on Jorge too, but what would it be like to be the next world champion from Laredo? What would that mean to you?
And that would be crazy. Of course, it's everybody's dream to have that belt around your waist, and I think it would just be a blessing to my family, and everyone that's been with me since day one. Uh, it would be crazy. I've been through a lot in my life, and uh, a lot of ups and downs, but I think that would just be like the top of the mountain, and I I don't think I'd just be any bigger trophy than that, and it would mean a lot. So I mean, that's the goal, right? Of course, that's everyone's goal, but you have to understand it takes a lot to get there. So I mean, I'm willing to put in the work to get there, one way or another.
Nothing good comes easy, right?
Of
Result
course.
of anything good is hard. I mean, yeah, anything good is because of hard work. And you got a great opportunity here, March 25th. Daniel Blancas, Caleb Plant, David Benavides undercard. Um, so I want to take a step back, right? Your last fight, December 2022, you get the first kind of hiccup in your career. You lose Edwin Guerrero, who's trained by Omar Figueroa, fighting down in the Valley. What's that like? And did it keep you down at all, or what went through your head, after suffering the first loss of your career?
Um, it was just I try not to dwell on it right now or today at this time, but at that given time, I was just it was a lot of I don't know, just a lot of bad things that were going on, and things weren't going the way it was supposed to. But when that happened, I of course I've taken many losses, and I know how to deal with them, right? I try not to, of course, dwell on it too long, and I try to just go past it and keep working. And at that time, it was rough. It was rough. I thought I wouldn't. At that point in given time, I felt like I couldn't lose. But of course, you have to learn. You know, to lose in order to win again. And it was rough. It was hard, but I mean, everything happens for a reason, and I can't complain. It just motivated me more to come back and work twice as hard and be twice as focused, and just make sure that I come back, because not a lot of people come back the same, and I got to make sure that I come back stronger and smarter.
I wanted to ask you about that, right? You know, a lot of times a loss can be a blessing in disguise, right? Because if you got steamrolled them, knocked them out in the first round, and you're 5-0 right now, maybe they don't take that fight, right? I mean, is it a blessing in disguise that you got a little blemish on your record? People maybe think, okay, he's beatable, and I'll take this fight now. I mean, is there a blessing in that, in having that little hiccup on your record, that people may be more willing to fight you now?
Of course, because I know that that day, I mean, it wasn't my best day, and I know that I could have done way better, and I know that that wasn't me, and I know that I could have changed the outcome easily. But like I said, everything happens for a reason, and of course, people. I've been getting ever since that happened. I was getting calls, like call after call, to fight in New York or California or different places where I wouldn't get calls at all. Like people wouldn't offer me anything. And I mean, of course, like you said, it is a blessing in disguise. And I mean, like you said, it's just a loss. I can't, like, I'm not gonna be like keep dwelling on it and be like, no, I lost, and no, I have to keep moving forward and keep pushing, because it's not over yet. It's not done with. I still got a long way to go.
Yeah,
I'm
what are you,
healthy.
22? I mean, you got a 22.
Yeah,
You got a whole 10, 12 years ahead of you if you want to, right?
God willing, yes, sir. But
Yeah.
yeah, but of course, yeah, I think it is a blessing in disguise, and you know, I think I needed it. I'm not gonna lie, like I feel like I needed it to kind of change my whole mindset and my perspective of life, and kind of just be more grateful and not take anything for granted, and just make sure I put in the work twice as harder.
I was listening to an interview with Kobe Bryant, and he was talking about his first finals without Shaq, when they lost to the Celtics in 6 games. And he said it was really the low point of his career. He said, I don't know that I can do this, right? That's Kobe Bryant.
Mhm.
And 2 days later, he's like, he's got to find out, figure out a plan on how to win a championship. And then he won the next two. Did you kind of have like, did you kind of have for a day or two, like, man, I don't know if this is going to work, and then just say, screw it, I'm just going to make it work? I mean, did you have an
I mean,
experience like that where it's like, man, I don't know, or did you just not really phase you?
no, I mean it did, especially like with the time point that it was at. I lost, and I was just like, man, like I said, I didn't think I could lose, and
Yeah.
it changed everything. Like my whole world just flipped upside down. Things weren't the same. When I went back to the gym, like I just felt like everyone was looking at me like a loser. Like why am I doing this? But at the same time, I couldn't forget why I started. That's the main thing. Like why I started. That's what kept me going every day. Like to not forget that, and uh, yeah, I just kept pushing me forward, and I just kept moving on. Like as soon, like I got over it. Like it's not like people are gonna keep talking and talking every day about it. I just have to keep moving forward, and life goes on, and you can't stop and stay there. You have to keep moving and keep pushing and keep trying. Because it's not over yet. Like I said, so.
You got a beautiful career, a bright you. And again, the next step on that is March 25th at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. What does a win do for you there? I mean, a win over Blancas, what does that do for your career? I mean, you're still obviously very early in your career, but what would a win mean to you at this stage of your career and over Blancas at the MGM Grand?
That would be a huge door opener to the other side, and you get to see the other side, and I know a lot more opportunities than how it's been, in my career, and it'd just be a huge blessing. It'd be awesome just to get a victory, and just overcome everything I did, and it would just I know it would open a lot of doors, and a lot of people start to see me.
Now, Blancas fought last night.
Yeah.
On the Showtime card on the undercard portion. And he's fought a bunch of times on the Pro Box series on Pro Box TV. Have you gotten to look at him, and what are your thoughts on Blancas?
Oh yeah, I saw the fight last night. It was pretty quick. I don't know if you saw it, but
Yeah, I
was,
saw it.
it was over like in 30 seconds. I mean, he's like he does kind of remind me of Benavides. You know, he's a come forward fighter. You know, he's strong, fast. You know, he's not no easy person. You know, of course not at this level, at this stage. Like I understood from the get go that it wasn't going to be easy. But yeah, he's a good boxer. I mean, he clearly, you know, is in a good spot right now with where he's at in his career. You know, being with Benavides and all that. But I mean, I just have to be smart and just make sure that I do all the right things to make sure that, you know, I can at least put up a fight and, you know, God willing, get the win.
Yeah. That's March 25th. Plant VS card, Las Vegas, Nevada, MGM Grand. I know you hate doing this, but I'm going to ask you, what's your prediction for the fight?
For me or the main event? For me?
For your fight.
Oh, for me?
Molina.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. See, you know, I don't like talking about that. But, you know, God willing, you know, everything goes well. I stick to the game plan. And I can get the victory. You know, I truly believe that, you know, I have the opportunity, and we both do. We're both great, talented boxers. And, you know, it's whoever wants it more. And I mean, it'll show on March 25th. And I'm excited. I'm ready. And I can't wait.
I can't wait myself. On March 25th, you and Blancas on the Benavides Plant undercard, MGM Grand, Nevada. I know you want to give some shout outs to your team, your pound for pound team, Ferocious Fitness. Give your shout outs and then tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
Yes, I just want to thank Santiago Chago Martinez, Louis Villarreal, you know, Alex San Miguel, my other coach, Francisco Alviso, my hometown coach. I miss you, my family. I miss everybody. I'm coming and I'm putting in the work. And you can find me on Instagram at nick.m16 or on Facebook on Nick Molina.
God bless. Best of luck. Looking forward to March 25th. Get that win. Bring that home back to Laredo, champ.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. God bless.